One, two, three. We're home! We are so excited to be back home in the Solomon Islands and be back on YouTube.
These past few years have been kind of a whirlwind, and we went MIA a couple times, several times actually.
We announced we were going to be back and then didn't stay back. But we're excited to get back to posting regular updates. And before we do that, we wanted to kind of take a little bit and recap the last 2 years for you.
It all started on a day in June, just a common day, when I arrived back to the house from running some errands, and Nora met me with a pregnancy test.
That was positive.
That was a shock. I mean, yeah, whoa.
There's a little bit of shock, a lot of shock, a little bit of sadness because we were overwhelmed with everything that meant because of my high-risk pregnancies and because of COVID locking down all the other countries surrounding us with better medical care. That meant that we had to head back to the U.S.
When we were finally able to get clearance to leave, we had 2 weeks to pack up our house, and then Nora went into morning sickness.
I was so sick, and we had to get everything packed up out of our house and into where our church building was renting and leave.
It was a crazy time, and there was a great feeling finally being able to get on that plane, sit down and saying, all right, I'm good for a few hours.
Now we can sleep a little bit.
So traveling back to the U.S. with 2 kids in the middle of all COVID shutdown was crazy, and it was surreal walking through a very well-traveled international airport and it being completely empty.
But we arrived safely back in the U.S. and got settled back in. I got in with doctors and had appointments, and we started traveling and getting meetings at supporting churches.
Baby continued to grow and was very healthy. Nora was doing great. It was honestly the easiest pregnancy that you were having by far at that point.
Completely normal. I was cleared to travel. And then on November 30th of 2020, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And our whole world turned upside down.
And so because of Nora needing to step in as caregiver to her mom, I started doing some traveling on my own, taking 1 or 2 of the kids with me. And but it was amazing that the Lord brought us home when He did, so Nora could step into that.
That's one of the small. I mean, there's so many different ways that God worked in everything, and that was one of the big ones.
I was gonna say that was big, not small.
Yeah, it was definitely big, and it was amazing, special, precious time that I was able to have with my mom that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
We went into the holidays knowing that this could be the last holiday that we would share with her mom, but also with my sister-in-law, who was battling breast cancer at the time. And we thank the Lord that we were able to spend very precious times with both families.
For Christmas.
On Christmas.
We made a crazy drive.
It was crazy, through the snow, up North Carolina and Virginia mountains.
But it was priceless time that we were able to spend with our families. February 24th of 2021, our precious Michelle Hope was born at home and came very quickly into the world.
And it was amazing.
And we did a video about that. I'll link that.
Granted, I'm not the one delivering the baby, but
it was really special. My mom got to be there, which was a dream come true for me.
And I did get to catch the baby, which was
yes.
amazing. And we were so thankful for a friend of ours who was a midwife who came
and delivered her, and it was perfect.
It was so much better than a hospital. And it was one of my favorite things was the kids going to sleep at night, not knowing any idea of what was going on, and then waking up in the morning and they walk into the room to say good morning to mommy and their new baby sister. That was pretty neat. So amazing.
The middle of March, we were able to travel down to spend the last few days of my sister-in-law's life with Michael's family, and those were a special time that there's just no way to adequately describe that. And then after she passed away, we headed back up to my parents and my mom and helped my mom adjust to hospice. And 2.5 weeks after my sister-in-law passed away, my mom also passed away and joined her in heaven with Jesus. Losing someone close to you, like a mom and a sister, is never easy. But knowing where they're at gives us great hope.
Mm-hmm.
And it also puts life into perspective.
We did a lot of self-examination on what we were viewing as important, and really tried to do some refocusing.
Yeah, just to see two people that are believers, that are children of God, stepping into eternity is there was a lot of powerful things that were spoken by both of them, and that challenged us greatly.
So after this time, the Solomon Islands still had no date that they were going to open, so we decided that we were going to do something crazy and something that we had never done before.
A very missionary thing.
And we got the bright idea, to buy a travel trailer and hit the road for a few months.
It was a blast.
And it was probably one of the craziest and most amazing things that we've ever done as a family.
And with a newborn little baby and two toddlers, we started traveling.
And a 20-year-old rig.
And we traveled around and got to see a lot of you, actually.
Yes.
And our supporting churches, and just update on what God had done, and ask people to pray that the Solomon Islands would open up. Because that was our biggest prayer. We were just kind of in limbo.
It was some of the most encouraging and uplifting times that we've had.
It was amazing to see. It seemed like every church that we were at, it was so clear that God had us there for a purpose, and conversations that we were able to have, that we were blessed and that we were able to be a blessing. It was really neat.
Yeah, it was really neat. But after that time,
We were tired.
we were tired, and Solomon Islands still had no indication of opening up. And just with all of the unsettling and everything that had happened and transpired in the last year, our family just needed a place. Our kids needed a place to sit down and to stay and to just settle for a little bit. And so we decided, we were able to work something out with my brother's church, and we were able to move into a house there on the property where my brother pastors. And
Calm down.
my children were able to attend the same Sunday school for weeks, which is something that they hadn't done in a year.
They had never done.
In a while. And it was what our family needed at that time. And we were able to just get in there and serve when we could.
And we had a few meetings here and there, but nothing major traveling wise. And it was what our family needed at that time.
In November
Of 2021.
we were getting ready to go into Thanksgiving meal with our family, and all of a sudden our Facebooks and messages and every notifications from the Solomon Islands started blowing up with rumors of unrest going on, and we started.
They weren't rumors.
They weren't rumors. We've quickly found out that they were not rumors, and we started seeing live stream of smoke rising from Honiara, and then we saw a live stream of focusing on where our church building was, and smoke rising from that.
And our church building that we were renting, with all of our church materials, but also all of our household goods, was up in smoke.
That was very hard to watch, and we felt very helpless.
So far away, especially with the people here that we're ministering to hurting.
Yes.
But it was amazing, again, to see God's hand in everything, and so many amazing things that he did through that.
The beginning of January, we started to hear rumors that the Solomon Islands might open up, and we were starting the process to try and get permission to enter the country. And just as we felt like we were making headway, I always say COVID made landfall like it was a hurricane. But
Kind of like a hurricane.
COVID arrived in the Solomon Islands for the first time, and community transmission basically ground the whole country to a halt. All government offices, everything.
School, everything. And we were thinking, what in the world?
A possibility of entering the country went from possible to
Nope.
And so
we were continuing to wait and pray, and asking everyone to pray that it wouldn't last very long and that the Solomon Islands would open up. My grandma also passed away in February of this year. Was that this year? That was this year, wasn't it? Oh, man. These last 2 years have felt like a blur. And that me being in the States again allowed me to go up and spend that time with my family again. And that was just under a year since my mom passed away, and this was her mother that had passed away. And that was hard to lose both. It seemed kind of like they were the, linchpin, I guess, in the family. They were the my mom was the one that kind of really knew a lot of the family facts and information about different relatives and things like that. And then with my grandma, her mom also passing away, it kind of felt like some of that just
She was the
disappeared.
social center of the family.
Yeah, and so that was really hard, but it was special to be able to be with family for that. Michael's brother got married, and Corban and Kezia were able to be the ring bearer and flower girl in their wedding, and that was really special. And then our niece had her first little baby, and I was able to go up and travel and help her in her adjustment to motherhood and meet my great niece, my first great niece, which is really exciting. And it's just neat to see how God had us there for these different events, and it was special.
And then finally, we got word that July there was a possible date for opening. And that seemed surreal after waiting and waiting.
2 years. There had been a few times along those 2 years where we got news that the Solomon Islands was going to open up, but positive news, and we sent the letter for request for permission to enter, and then it closed down again. And so it was kind of this roller coaster. And so when we got the news that it was going to open up in July of this year, we thought, that's really exciting, but we didn't really want to get our hopes up too much.
We basically decided we're not going to get excited until we're on the plane.
And that was
the
probably
US.
a good thing.
May or June, we bought our tickets, and that was something where we wanted to get excited, but we didn't.
But that was the first time we had bought tickets.
Yeah, that was our first attempt, and that was our only attempt too.
And it worked. So on July 27th, we boarded our flight out of Charlotte, North Carolina for the Solomon Islands, and we vlogged all of that along that journey. And so we're going to be posting those in the weeks to come. And we're excited that we were able to take you a little bit on the journey and continue doing so.
But I can't say enough how God has worked in the last 2 years and everything He's taught us. And though it was hard and there were times where we were questioning what's going on, in the last 2 years and being able to look back, we know that God had a purpose in it all. And we learned so much, and we're thankful for every lesson that He taught us, despite how hard they were. And we can't say enough for the patience that our supporters had with us. It was a hard time for a lot of missionaries, but we are so thankful for our supporting churches.
And for the people here at our church here. They stayed faithful, and they were patient and waited.
Yes.
And
for everyone that just prayed for us, and it was very evident that people were praying for us, and just thank you so much. And we are so happy. We're so happy to be able to be sitting here, and I'm looking at palm trees and mango trees and hot sunshine, and God is good.
And we're home, and we're excited about the future. Life is crazy right now with 3 little ones and adjusting back to the Solomon Islands and so many different factors, but we know that so many of you have really enjoyed and learned and benefited from the videos that we've been putting up. And so we want to continue, and so we're going to start back at 1 a week, possibly a bonus one. We're not going to make any promises, but just one video a week, and we're going to plan on posting on Fridays, and we hope that they're a blessing to you.
And we're sorry that we've said that we were going to start several times back, and we never did that. Life has just happened.
My mom would be so upset because she hated when I would make a promise to do something and not follow through.
But at the beginning of doing YouTube, we made a promise to ourselves that YouTube would never control our life or our posting.
And it wouldn't be one of our top priorities. We know where our priorities are, and YouTube is definitely towards the bottom, but it is a priority, and so we're excited to get back.
We love you guys.
Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet, and
ring the bell.
Yeah,
for notifications.
and put the thumbs up too, and like it. We're out of practice on all this.
Yes,
it does help our videos kind of be.
It's very rough, like our pigeon and our English
And just everything.
All right, you guys have a wonderful day.
Bye.